Hey, when we say the sound quality is amazing, we are really not kidding. For those of you who've been following me for a while, I know there is one big thing you deal with. You're always like, wow, Jessie, great job, but I have no idea what you're talking about. So in this video, we're going to break down all those mysterious pro words people use in the headphone world and what they actually mean. And by the end of this, you'll totally get it, whether you are using Bluetooth buds or the IEMs. Also, I've mentioned before if I should start posting IEM reviews. I'm still back and forth on whether I should just start a whole new channel for that. So later on, I want to chat a bit about my own vibe and feelings on HiFi world. So here is the real audio dictionary. If they say hard to drive, it means sounds like garbage. And easy to drive, you're gonna hear background hiss. Sounds better with a cable swap. The headphones suck to begin with. And huge potential means a trap to make you buy an expensive player. Burning works, just a trick so you can return them within days. Massive jump after 1,000 hours. Don't buy it, your ears are just suffering at that point. And vocal focused, it means sharp S sound and piercing trebles and zero bass. Great atmosphere. The bass is literally pounding your brain. And good for classical. It means humongous bass and painful trebles and vocal sounds terrible. And analog feel means high distortion and bad specs and just old and outdated tech. And digital feel means low distortion, great specs, new tech, everything's perfect, but it just sounds boring. A great listening experience means the specs are so bad and I can't brag about them, so I just talk about the vibes. The highly recommended or how to choose, I'm trying to find someone to buy my electronic junk. And if it's a side-by-side reviews by users and they said this one is god tier, this one is trash, basically they're just starting a fight. And side-by-side reviews by the seller, everything is amazing, now please buy something from me. The DIY, the replica, the special edition, they are just fake goods and totally e-waste. And Burmeister at this point is not even a brand, it's just a word people use for good sound. Base $100, match $1,000, or base $10,000. The most classic marketing bullshit for junk. If they say it must swap the cable for the budget buds, it means, hey dummy, come buy this cable I'm selling. And if they said must swap the cable for the flagships, it means, hey rich dummy, come buy this overpriced cable I'm selling it. Upgrade cables means they look prettier and make you think it sounds better. Okay, here's the actual science. So the three frequencies are just bass and mids and trebles. It's basically just how audio fans divide up the sound to describe it easily. The low frequency is mostly the bass and drums, like that heavy bass at the start of the bad guy, or the kick drums and electronic beats. The mid frequencies usually cover the vocals and piano and other instruments in that range. Generally, both male and female voices fall into the mids, so no matter how high or how low they sing. And for high frequencies, the most typical sound would be things like the triangle or the violin. There isn't really one fixed standard. Being balanced depends on how you personally hear things. Even something like the Harman curve is just an experience curve, or what you could call a general preference curve. It's a lot like the standard measurement the builders used on the construction site. After trying out so many different tuning styles, the Harman lab just took a bunch of the data and found the average curve that most people seem to like. Of course, there are plenty of other curves besides the Harman. For example, since the Harman is everywhere lately, more people are starting to prefer the Jim 1 curve. They feel like they can actually hear the texture of all three frequencies instead of just having their head rattled by bass. So at the end of the day, your own preference is the real standard. Hey, it depends on each their own. Some people love that heavy thump in the bass, and some people want sweet sounding vocals, and others like those sharp and exciting highs. But honestly, most regular listeners do prefer a bit more bass. Even the Harman curve has been adding a few extra decibels of the low end lately. I think listening to the music is super subjective, so as long as you like it, it's all that matters. I think if you believe that, you might as well believe I am a fighter jet. It's like taking an old budget car and trying to use software to overclock it into a Lamborghini? Sure, you can change the style or the vibe, but the actual gap in the sound quality has to be fixed by the hardware. If the engine is weak and the body design is bad, what's the point of software patch? EQ can fix some feel issue, but it can't fix the quality of the headphone itself. That's why I try not to talk too much about how loud or heavy the sound is. Instead, I focus on the range and the power. If the headphones are good, they will sound good no matter how you tune them. But if they are bad, even the perfect EQ is just a waste of your money. I'm definitely not someone who says EQ can fix everything. If you're just using software like the Equalizer APO or something similar to tweak things, you're probably going to deal with a lot of distortion. Most of the time, the sound just ends up feeling really unnatural. The real point of the EQ is to make a pair of earbuds that are already decent and add a little bit of your own flavor to them. If you're really set and messy with EQ, you should probably learn some of the basic theory first and try using hardware tuning boards. And even switching out your headphone cables or ear tips is basically a form of hardware EQ. Yeah, they work, but they aren't that great. I'm not trying to hurt some feelings here, but I will just say it. Everyone's ears are different, and everyone's equal loud in this country is different. And even two pairs of the exact same headphones can have tiny differences in how they sound. So, do you really think some cheap EQ setting you bought for a few bucks are that amazing? And how could they possibly work for everyone? And then there are those one-on-one tuning services where you mail in your headphones. And for anyone who trying to get into hi-fi, my advice is this: keep your ears open. If you can try them out in person at the store, do that. If you can do a trial run before buying, and do that. And if they have a return policy, use it to test them first. Just remember, let your ears decide. If you don't like them the second you put them on, don't buy it. When I was chatting with some friends recently, this thought just dropped into my head. I feel like the hi-fi is actually a really cool hobby. I've put my thoughts together to share with you all. It's a mix of some real talk and what I have learned from being an audio nerd for years. And there are a few reasons why I say it's a cool hobby. And first, just to get started, you need at least a $200 budget. That's the minimum to put together a system that actually features taste and handle both detail and soundstage well. And I'm not even saying you need a $200 pair of headphones just to start it. I'm talking about the whole setup. Even now, with so many brands fighting over the budget market and claiming to have the $15 kind of value, it still ends up costing you in the end. Let's just do the math. For in-ear monitor under $100, most are tuned just for pop vocals or marketed as the gaming gear. You usually have to spend at least $80 to get something that doesn't sacrifice detail and soundstage. Honestly, you need to get close to $150 before you find something that isn't missing a leg somewhere. Like, for example, the Juno Titan S2 is a classic, around $80. It has a great soundstage and detail, but if you pair it with their own $50 dongle, the vocals feel a bit weak, and it just needs a more powerful dongle to really show what it can do. And then maybe you can have the Rosalsa Quiet C2, also around $80. It's more for gaming, and the soundstage isn't as big as the Titan S2, but the positioning is clear. If you get the gaming version, it comes with a mic and a dongle, which is fine for gaming or pop music. But if you really compare it detail to a $200 setup, it just can't keep up. It's only a good value for that specific price range. And speaking of dongles, for nowadays, most phones don't have headphones jack anymore. If you buy a super cheap, maybe $10 or $20 dongle, it's not even a question of if it can drive the headphone. It's like buying a $1,000 bike versus a $2,000 bike. They both move, but the experience is totally different. And don't even get me started on the music players. There is so much hype right now. At the $200 level, a player is considered as a success if the screen doesn't lag, especially since memory prices are going up. If you want a real player and headphone combo, your budget is looking at maybe $600 or $700. If you spend maybe $300 on the used player Any headphones under $300 don't even need it. And a $150 dongle would be plenty. But either way, you see how the price just keep climbing. Over-ear headphones are even worse. People say the HE400 SE sounds great for under $100. But if you plug it straight into a phone, that tiny soundstage is just I can't even stand. And second, your personal feelings changes a lot. The cheapest way to buy headphones is to go to an offline hi-fi shop and listen for yourself. You try a bunch of things and put together the system that fits you best. But anyone who goes to shows or shops knows that the sound you hear in the stores is often totally different from the sound you hear when you get home. That is because of things like the background noise and even your mood. When you are in the shop, you are subconsciously rushing and trying to hear a difference as fast as possible. That on-the-clock feeling is nothing like sitting in your quiet room at night. I have a friend who put together a system in the shop and thought it sounds amazing. He got it home and suddenly the soundstage felt wrong and the instrument details were off and the trebles were way too sharp and annoying. After playing with it for 2 weeks, he had to sell it and lost $70. Think about it. Losing $17 is like throwing away a pair of Huawei 7i and Oppo Enco Free 4 or even 2 real Salsa Ceramics Ultra, and those Bluetooth buds are already some of the best for sound and noise cancellation at their price. It's crazy. Another big thing is the ear damage. This usually happens in 3 ways. Your high-frequency sensitivity drops as you get older, and your low-frequency hearing fades because you love heavy bass too much, or your overall hearing just gets worse until you can't even hear people talking clearly. It's not actually about a broken eardrum. It's because the tiny hearing cells inside your ear are literally dying. And speaking for myself, I've noticed that I keep turning the volume up without realizing it. And especially since I started doing reviews, I'm constantly pushing the volume just to catch those tiny details. In the 6 months I've been a creator, I feel like my hearing has changed more than it did in the past 5 or 6 years. Some people listen even louder than I do, so if you do that for a long time, it's going to cause real damage. And now I have to make a conscious effort to keep the volume low or just listen for shorter amounts of time. And lastly, the HiFi has a super obvious diminishing returns problem. In the beginning, a $20 pair of headphones will obviously sound better than a $2 pair. But if you want to get next wow, you might have to spend $100. And for the next big jump after that, you're looking at maybe $400 or $500. There are even brands out there pushing the limits with earbuds that cost maybe $10,000 or even $20,000. But if the difference between those and a $2,000 pair really that big, honestly, I can't hear a difference that's worth that much money. And right now, the most I'm willing to spend is around maybe $500. At that price, I can hear a clear improvement over the cheaper stuff, and I will only buy it if it actually fits my taste. I think HiFi is just kind of cool like that. Once you're in the hobby, you're always worried about missing out on something cool or a great deal, so you just keep throwing money at it. So this channel is definitely going to stay focused on Bluetooth gear. But if you would like to see me post some IM reviews here too, let me know in the comments. Good one, Jessie.